The fifth Dev Diary for NASCAR 25 has been released by iRacing and NASCAR. And I'm going to tell you up front, right off the bat, that you're either going to be very hit or miss with what you like from this by what they chose to divulge and what they didn't. I will say I was very interested in the fact that they had so many different drivers from so many different levels talking about this game. They had drivers from Rev Racing and talking from ARCA all the way up to guys who compete for the NASCAR Cup Series Championship year in and year out. There were guys like Sammy Smith who really talked about the realism. Same with Christopher Bell talking about the way that the repave drives at Iowa in different lanes. And there were others talking about physics being good, like Ty Majeski. Anthony Alfredo talking about the authenticity and the physics and all of that as well. And Roger Carruth bringing up the iRacing footprint that is on this game. Those things, again, are all things that I would expect people in their position to say. But at the same time, I will also say that the brief bits of gameplay, which I will say there are not many, but the brief bits of gameplay they do show, I think are at least serviceable for us to see. Not exactly what we want to see, but in this moment you can tell that it works. The game works, it looks decent enough, it looks good on the screenshots and on some of the brief different camera shots they show from it, whether it be the in-car, whether it be outside of the car, whether it be the stuff before the race, you name it. There are a lot of different aspects they do show of it, just not too awful much. And I will say with that too, that you can tell this is completely done on purpose. They have acknowledged the fact that there is no gameplay trailer out, but they've talked about just about everything else, how the drivers would be feeling in it, how authentic it is, the racetracks, the cars. Hell, they even put out a list of the different drivers in it. But the gameplay is definitely something that they're getting us to chomp at the bit about. And at this point, I can keep harping on it, and I will. I mean, I think this is something that probably should be put out more and more. But they are openly acknowledging it just about every time they talk about the game. And speaking of the game and the gameplay trailer, as well as pre-orders, it sounds like it's coming out about a month or so before the release, according to Matt Lewis, at the end of this Dev Diary. Now, September 14th is exactly a month out from the release date of this game. So probably early September would be the best guess. I think, honestly, it'd probably be better to have it around Daytona, if I'm being completely real with you. But I think that maybe they can make something work with it, whether it be, say, on Bristol week, when you're heading on into it, you get a lot of hype and maybe some people can play it at activations at the track, or maybe they do it in New Hampshire week because they have focused a lot on the New Hampshire Motor Speedway and the development of this game, whether it be through screenshots or other things like that. Either way, it is something at least that we can look forward to. There is a gameplay trailer. We knew there would be one coming, but now we at least have a bit of a carrot out in the distance to chase after with it. I do think, again, it just seems a little too close maybe for a lot of us NASCAR fans' comfort. And with that too, I would want to see both a gameplay trailer and I'd want to see people putting out a little bit of gameplay, whether it be creators, whether it be them themselves live streaming it and maybe going through what's working, what's not, what's to improve. After all, it's still a work in progress. We should all keep that in mind. So whatever it looks like right now will probably be different than what it looks like when the gameplay trailer comes out, as well as when the game itself comes out. But these are all things, again, with us and our post-ignition stress disorder that we all have that do need to be addressed, do need to be talked about. And I don't blame people for seeing this and saying, what the hell? It's now 2 months before and we're not really having anything just yet. Totally get that. And I'm totally on your side with that. I hope that we get to see it sooner rather than later. I hope, again, it's closer to Daytona week rather than, say, Bristol or New Hampshire in the middle or at the start of September. That's what I'm more hoping more than anything else when it comes to a gameplay trailer. Now, a few things when it comes to the brief gameplay, though, they did show. I will say, from what it looks like, it at least looks smooth. I know a lot of people were upset and up in arms about how the brief little snippet of William Byron's car looked a couple weeks or maybe a week or two ago or whatever it was. Again, that's more or less just maybe not the right video to put out or anything, but it looks smooth enough, honestly. It does not look like it's having a ton of terrible issues. Now, I don't think they would put something out where it had terrible issues either. Let's be completely realistic here, but at the same time, you know, we have seen worse. For instance, when they were showing some clips, say, at Bristol, during this, or Dover, or wherever it was, the AI was taking different routes and lines through the corners in front of the player, and that's something Ignition didn't do. They followed a train track, whereas in other good games, the AI actually is dynamic. And that's something they talked about, and that seems like a promise that is at least going to go through when it comes to this game. I know it doesn't matter too much to too many people, and I know also that for me it's not something that's the highest priority, but I will say I do think the presentation does look good, and I do enjoy having that inside the garage feel or rolling off pit road feel with it. I think the menus look decent enough. They're sleek, they're simple, and that's all I need from it. I don't need you to reinvent the wheel for me. I don't need to try and search for different things like I'm playing Where's Waldo when I just want to be a driver or be at a track. And it seems like these things are simple. And that's what I want. I want this game to be upfront, straightforward, and simple. I'm going to be level with you right now. I love NASCAR gaming, and I've played a ton of them since I was 7 years old. It has been over 20 years since I started playing NASCAR games. But I will also say outside of Thunder 04, and maybe a Technics game here or there, I have not played consistently a NASCAR game since NASCAR Heat 4 because it just wasn't worth it for me. I am the type of person that NASCAR 25 is trying to bring in. So these simple things to me, again, while seeming small and insignificant, I think are big because they're not turning me away right off the bat where I'm looking at it and thinking, God, that's ugly. God, that's stupid. God, that's every other thing I have to think about that I don't want to think about with it. Again, things just seem straightforward with the game. Now, of course, are there going to be maybe issues or is there going to be things that we don't like or maybe aren't being shown just yet because they're not really as marketable? Sure, maybe that might come along. But so far, that's really where I'm at with all of these updates, with the talk of the game, is there's nothing to me that is really setting off a huge amount of alarm bells in the sense of like where Ignition, I could tell by the trailer, I could tell by how they talked about it, the sort of BS that was being sprung up about it, that things were going wrong. Right now, again, this game could be really great. It could be mediocre. It could crash and burn. That's the thing. We don't know until we see the gameplay. I keep going back to that. But the things we have seen, I think, are decent enough. I think are good enough. And they should at least keep people optimistic, cautiously optimistic. But I do think there's nothing here that is making me say, man, I don't want to play it. There's just nothing here yet that's saying, man, this is completely selling it for me. And again, I wish we got more. They're keeping me on edge, and I wish we got more with it. I know that it's marketing 101 to keep people wanting more, and I guess they got me hooked on that side of it. So with that, let me know down in the comments below. Are you maybe a little more turned on to having the game or maybe turned off of having the game because of what you've seen here, as well as when we can get a gameplay trailer? All those are important things, so let me know down in the comments below. I'm sure that people from the studio and the games will be looking, and maybe you can give some good insight. While you're at it, leave a like in this video, share this video, and subscribe to this channel for more great and fun NASCAR content. Thank you so much to all my channel members for your continued support, and until next time, have a good one.